everyone. Um, I wanted to create a video today discussing, I guess, my coming out. Um, for most people, it's a hard thing to deal with, or to actually to do. And a lot of people have a lot worse time than I did. I didn't have that bad of a time as far as with my family. Um, so John and I came out at the same time. Um, he told his mom that night, and I told my mom. We were not living together at the time. He was still in his town of Raleigh, and I was in my hometown. And but we text each other before and after, and um, so that helped coming out. Not necessarily thing for some people, but us it just happened to work out. For me, I was coming off from being someone that was fixing to enter formation for the priesthood in the Catholic Church. Um, it was a situation where people, it was tough on my mom, I think, a little bit more. Um, my sisters, obviously, they all knew, and they found out, or when I told them, they knew. The only one that didn't know was my dad. My mom had requested that we didn't tell him. I wasn't crazy about the idea of keeping it from him, but you know, I respected her wishes, even though I didn't feel like we should, but I did. Um, until recently, which is when me and John were fixing to get married. We had been together for 5 years, so you know, I don't know how he didn't know. But anyways, so he took it hard. Told me that he felt like his son had died, that he had lost his son. Um, he didn't disown me. He said he always loved me. If I ever wanted to get out of this mess that I've got myself into, he would help. Um, but now my sister from his previous marriage, um, she basically said that she wasn't going to come back over to their house because she didn't want her kids to see that and to think that that is okay. So, in other words, she's kind of cut me out of her life, which, in all honesty, she was never really in my life. Anyways, she never came around but maybe once or twice a year, so not really a big loss there, I don't feel. Um, but it certainly does hurt to think that someone can cut you out of their life so easily over something so silly that nothing had changed. The only thing that changed was that John and I had gotten married, but we don't act any different. We don't do any different. I mean, we're not certainly on top of one another in front of everybody. I mean, we try to respect other people's feelings and emotions. But I think for me, the hardest part about coming out was not so much the telling other people and the fear of what other people will say, but accepting me for who I am and accepting that part of my life. Um, that's the toughest part of it all. You have to learn to accept yourself. You can't expect anybody to accept you until you accept you. Um, living in the South, there's a lot of biblical biased people here that quote the scripture the way they want to quote it, which is fine. That's their belief. That's not mine. That's not the church that I belong to's beliefs. But, that's their beliefs. And my other sister, who was my mom's other daughter, she knew that she said she knew that I was gay since I was 2, 3 years old, which I don't know how you could tell how a 2 or 3 year old is gay, but I guess I came out wrapped in rainbow. I don't know. But she couldn't come to the marriage because she didn't approve of it. But she wanted me to be happy and that she loved me. Okay, whatever. So anyways, so that's kind of the gist of my coming out. For me, it was more of a harder part of accepting myself because I did come from a Catholic world. I came from a very structured, very strict life. Um, and I had to accept myself and all that that entailed. And that was very hard. It took me a long time. Even when John and I was together, it was still one of those things that I was accepting. And anybody that's going through that situation, my best advice is accept yourself, love yourself, and appreciate who you are. And don't try to say, okay, well, I'm gay. Oh God, this is horrible. Or this is going to define me. I don't want my sexuality to define who I am. And it shouldn't. And it don't have to. If you don't want it to. A friend of my sister's who is in a situation like I think I was a little bit with accepting myself. My family has this hardcore belief against homosexuality. And I think that she's going through this situation where she's not really willing to accept herself yet. And it's really sad. And it's put this person into a great depression. And I understand that depression, and that's what really sucks. And if I can help anyone work through that, that's what I want to do. I'm still fighting my way in a sense. But so that's my coming out story. It's not gray, dark, and sad and gloomy like a lot of people have. A lot of family members that disown them, don't speak to them ever again. I had one, and we never heard from her anyway. So not a real loss. She's not much of a family member when you don't ever come around but once a year, twice if we're lucky. Um, so no real great loss. I'm not weeping over or losing any sleep over it. I know that sounds cold and cynical, but it's the truth. But that's kind of my coming out with my family. My dad's fine now. I mean, he doesn't accept it. His statements is, I don't believe you're gay. I just believe that, you're lost or unfocused or something. So, whatever. But he's nice, he's courteous, he's kind to John, he's kind to me. That's all that matters. Um, and that's all you can really hope for. You know, I didn't look for someone to be, I didn't say accept me, but love me. Um, and don't cut me out of your life. That's the only thing I requested. Don't look at me any different now than you did before, or even while I was going through the priesthood. Don't look at me any different then I am now. I have not changed. The only thing that changed is who I'm with. So anyways, I'm kind of rambling on, and I just wanted to get that out there and kind of share some of my feelings. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them. Thanks, and have a great day.